Hello, bonjour, namaste, ni hao, and oh hi everybody, what is going on? It is Galeriot here, and welcome back to the YouTube channel once again for another Danmachi Memoria Freese video. And today we are starting a new account on Danmemo, but of course this time round we have to start on the JP version of the game because of course, as you guys may already know, the international version has reached its end of service. Of course, a lot of people have been asking me over the last few days in my attempt to actually play the JP version of Danmemo on live stream, asking me like, wait, the game has ended, what do you mean it's still going on? Well, the English version or the international version of the game has shut down, but the JP version is still carrying on. In fact, they very recently released a brand new Hero Festa banner featuring Haruhime and Wealth. So for the foreseeable future, the JP version of the game is still going on. And to be quite honest, I've been thinking about it quite heavily over the last few days, even more so I would say compared to before. I was thinking about it for a long time, but I was thinking about it even more so over the last few days since the international version ended on the 29th of February, in that I should probably start up a JP account and actually play the JP account, because at the end of the day, this channel is a thing because of Danmemo. I also have experienced so many good things because of Danmemo. It will be a shame that I call it quits a little bit earlier than when it's actually supposed to end, because at the end of the day, while the international version has ended, the JP version is still going on, and it seems like it'll go on for the foreseeable future. And whenever it ends is when Danmemo as a whole will end. So me ending it early with the international version, personally, I didn't feel like it was right. I didn't feel like it was right. And there was a little bit of obviously nostalgia there, and that fear of letting go as well of a game that you've been in love with for so long. And if I can have any way of grappling onto it or gripping onto it in some way, shape or form, it's this version of the game. So in today's video, I just want to talk about how you can download the game as well, what I'm going to be doing over the next few months and weeks, of course, with this version of the game on the channel and just generally as well. And then finally, on top of all of that, I want to talk about how you can have a great start to Danmemo as well. And to be quite honest, I will say it straight up right here. If you played the international version, there's really no difference between that version and this version of the game. Of course, if you are an EU player, you will have an added advantage playing the JP version of the game, because you guys have access to one area that you guys didn't have on the EU version of the game. The NA players and the JP players had access to it, but you guys didn't. So stick around, of course. If you guys go on to enjoy this video, please be sure to leave a like down below, subscribe to the channel for more content, and let me know your guys' thoughts on the JP version of Danmemo. Are you guys going to be downloading it? Are you guys going to just let go and obviously just watch from afar, see what's cooking, of course, on the JP version of the game? And of course, on top of all of that, are you guys looking forward to the next Danmachi game? And if so, which one? Because there's two, remember. One is the gacha game and the other is the console game. Which one are you guys more excited for? Let me know in the comment section down below. I'm curious to see what you guys have to say down below. But yes, let's clarify first and foremost the entire situation when it comes to Danmachi games, because I feel like a lot of people get very confused very easily when it comes to the Danmachi games in particular. So, Danmachi Cross Historia has shut down. Danmachi Aurora Rhapsodia has shut down. Danmemo or Danmachi Memoria Freese has partially shut down, with the international version shut down, but the JP version is still carrying on for the foreseeable future. Obviously, there's no new stories coming out, just new units. Keep that in mind as well. Danmachi Battle Chronicle has just began and it's in its half anniversary at this moment in time. Danmachi Infinite Combat is a thing that everybody wants to forget about. The next two games coming out for Danmachi, one of which is a gacha game that is being developed by NeoWiz for the PC and mobile devices, and beyond that, we don't know anything else. We don't know when it's coming out or anything of that sort. Similarly, we have a console game, not a gacha game. So this is going to be probably a single player console experience that'll be available on your PC, on your PS5, and your Xbox One or Series X basically. And that is going to be releasing within the next 2 years most likely, and it features an original story by Omori Sensei. Now, we don't know anything more than that. It's also being published by Bushiroad. I don't know if they're also confirmed to be the developers as well, but we know that they're the publishers for sure. So that is the story behind effectively all the Danmachi games. Now, if you're trying to download the JP version of Danmemo, let's talk about Android first and foremost, because Android, in my opinion, is probably the easiest one of the two. Now, if you are playing on Android, of course, there is two options in my opinion, or three technically. Two of which are effectively the same thing, which is you basically download a third-party application store that is either QO app or TapTap. Now, personally, I use QO app, which I'm going to show you guys right about now. If we go over here, yep, there we go. This is QO app, of course. This is the website, of course, the browser of it. You have to download the APK for QO app to have it on your Android phone. There's no way to do it otherwise, unfortunately. But then if you are on QO app, you can easily just go to games, just click Danmachi or type in Danmachi on the search tab, and you will be taken to it. Now, I don't know why it's in Chinese. Is it Chinese? Yeah, it's in Chinese. I don't know why it was in Chinese, but let's switch it to English. Let's just type in Danmachi, and it'll effectively take you to the Danmachi games, basically, including Battle Chronicle. The one you want to choose is Danmachi Memoria Freese Japanese. Like I said, the second technique is the same thing, but it's just a different application. You can use the likes of TapTap or potentially APK Pure as well, and these are ways for you to basically download the game. Like I said, I personally go with QO app because it's the safest one and most reliable one, according to me, based on my years of playing gacha games, to be quite honest. You can also get a bunch of other games as well that you may have not heard about, because it's basically a store for you to basically download any regional based app or region blocked app. So like, for example, if there's a game in Japan that hasn't been released to the public, or globally that is, you can download it through QO app, because of course they still have the APK for it, right? So it's super nice in that regards, and it's super accessible in my opinion. The third method for Android users is creating a new Google ID or Google email and linking it to a JP, effectively linking it to Japan, effectively, somehow in some way. Not somehow, some way. It's very easy. You just have to create a new account on your PC device. Just remember to log out of everything or download a new browser. Don't have any new Google account linked to it. Just make a brand new Google account on that browser and make sure it's in Japan. Like, make sure it's linked to Japan in some way, shape, or form. All you need to do is get a random address and random telephone number. They'll ask you that if you can, to provide a verification for your payment. You can ignore that and skip that, and it will not question you whatsoever. If you are on iOS, however, which is Apple, of course, right? Apple is the same as that third method, basically, wherein you will need to have a Apple ID that is based in Japan. So keep that in mind, of course, is that you'll have to create a brand new Apple ID that is Japanese, and of course you'll have to look it up on how to do that. It's not that difficult. In fact, that method has been around since pretty much the early days of like Dokkan Battle in 2015, 2016. So it's not really impossible for people to get around to actually doing it. Now, the thing is, right, I wanted to also talk a little bit about exactly what my plans are with Danmemo on the channel, right? And what are my intentions basically with the game, of course, right? Primarily, it's going to be a stream-only game, more so than anything else. I will be streaming the game at least 2, maybe 3 times a week, most likely alongside Danmachi Battle Chronicle. In terms of videos, I will probably drop a video or 2 depending on what sort of topic it is. Of course, you know, with the Hero Festa units coming out, I had to make a video on that. There will be actually another video or 2 this week, but it's more so in relation to things that are happening outside of Danmemo, with obviously Danmachi Battle Chronicles Orion Epilogue. I want to compare that, and then I of course want to compare the Astrea Record light novel release to the Danmemo story itself. So technically, I guess you could say that there are Danmemo videos coming out this week, but it more so comes down to what units they release, what buffs they give, and so on and so forth. Maybe some summons here and there. But for the most part, like I said, it'll primarily be on live streams that I will be doing Danmemo content. So keep that in mind, and hopefully you guys look forward to it. I'm always down to have you guys on the live streams for anything and everything. So I hope you guys are there for even Danmemo content as well. Now, of course, if you are starting off the JP version of Danmemo, first and foremost, Obviously, the language will be a little bit of a barrier for a lot of you guys. However, I feel like for the most part, if you have been playing the game for a very long time, you guys know where everything is for the most part, right? I'm pretty sure on that fact, right? But nonetheless, I'll just quickly go over a couple of things that you need to know, of course, if you guys don't know what certain things are. Of course, the bottom left button that is behind my head is the character screen. That'll take you to, of course, everything you need to know about the characters. You have things like, of course, your parties, your leveling up system, your hero ascensions as well. This is hero ascension, of course. Then you have your, I clicked on that again. You have your memorias is what I was going to go to. I was going to click on that, but I just misclicked instead. You have your memorias here as well, which of course, you know, it's been a minute since we've done memoria stuff, but there is that as well. Then you obviously have this. Actually, I'm quite curious. Did JP get a memoria? If so, I'm quite curious to seeing what it is. Of course, some of you guys may not know what, may not know what memorias are if you're coming from Danmachi Battle Chronicle and are starting that out. Some of you guys may not know what it is. Ooh, it's this. Oh, it's the 4th anniversary Haruhime. Nice, nice. What does she do? Let's see. I actually want to see what she does. Okay, thanks, game. I really appreciate it. Anyways, we've collected that, and that's nice. I'm gonna have to take a look at what that does, to be quite honest. Then you have your character list, of course, here, where you can increase the CP of your characters. You have your album. This is your album, of course, right? I feel like the images of this are a little bit different to the English version. I'd have to compare them. Maybe it's also because I didn't pay too much attention to the, like, actual, like, layouts of these buttons, to be quite honest. But yeah, I mean, that's just how it is. Also, I will say it's a little bit laggy, but that's also because I'm on BlueStacks as well. And then the last one is outfit refinement. Then, of course, the second button from the bottom left is your interact. Your guild is right here. Blacksmith, gacha, sorry, this is your shop, I think. Yeah, shop. I wasn't sure for a split second what that was. Your arena, your familia, and then, of course, your quest mode, of course, right? And then you guys can navigate your way around this. I feel like it's pretty easy. I have 2 events that I need to do, so I'm gonna have to get around to doing it, maybe on stream as well, so I can get some easy units and stuff like that, of course, right? But yeah, that is pretty much a simple look around in terms of the game. Now, like I said, there is something that maybe you guys didn't get to experience on the on the EU version of the game, because of course it was not available, right? And that is, of course, the casino. The casino is right here, of course, right? You need to finish off 311 in, I think it is Ryu's Familiar Chronicle episode, right? So we'll get around to doing that. But that is something I would highly recommend a lot of players get around to doing, because, of course, the main thing that you get from that will help you a lot at the start of the game is equipment and armors and weapons that will basically give you a boost in Valis. And that is the most important thing you need to get, because Valis at the start of the game is tricky as all hell. It is very, very tricky, and I highly recommend you guys get around to doing that as well. Now, finally, I want to just go over the units that you should probably go for, and I think this Haruhime is the one you need to go for. As you guys saw there, potentially by my character list, of course, right? Well, specifically my hero ascension list, is that I didn't actually go for Nocturnal Elf Ryu in my reroll gacha. I went for Honors Elf Lafia. The reason for that is because this Haruhime, the Hero Festa Haruhime, is basically a much better Nocturnal Elf Ryu. So if you are going to be starting right now while the Hero Festa banner is live, which is until the 28th of March, so you have about 23 days to go, I would highly recommend just going in, summoning for this Haruhime. Forget a Nocturnal Elf Ryu, you want to get her. And of course, this banner is really good to start off on because of the fact that, well, one, it's cheapest chips in terms of like 20 steps, and it's double rates as well. So you're winning big time no matter what. You're winning big time. Outside of that, I mean, I guess that this banner is a really good option as well if you want to go for it. Eyes, Hermes, Anakiri they're all really good. These 3 are okay. But yeah, these 2, I mean, yeah, these are the ones you want to go for, in my opinion. Those are the ones you want to go for. So yeah, let me know what you guys think, of course. And one more thing as well, to wrap it all up. A lot of the content in the JP version of Danmemo, if not every single bit of content, in my personal opinion, that is of use, is exactly identical to the NA version of the game or the international version of the game, outside of poker, which was only available on the NA version, not on the E version and stuff. So if you really want any sort of help and you want to get some guidance on exactly how things work and everything, of course, remember, I have a full guide playlist on my channel. Be sure to check it out. It is super helpful. I uploaded it over a year ago, but it is really easy to understand. I mean, you guys can tell based on my old thumbnail design, of course, right? Then you obviously have your best way to do dailies. Freely limit break your units in Danmemo. Farming Iris without stamina. Of course, this is super helpful for a lot of people. The outfit refinement method, guides to equipments, so on and so forth. It's super useful. Highly recommend using this one. This is one of my favorite thumbnails. Shame didn't do so well. But yeah, go check out those videos. It'll really help you guys out tremendously. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Like I said, do you guys plan on, or like I asked you guys earlier on, do you guys plan on jumping on the JP version of Danmemo? If so, what are you planning on summoning for? And if not, let me know why. What might be your reasoning? I'm quite curious to see what you guys have to say down below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, take it easy, everybody. Bye-bye.